All right, I'm just going to go right into it on the basis of plantar fasciitis, also known as plantar fasciosis, as we will see why when I demonstrate. But the reasoning behind that is because plantar fasciitis, itis means the inflammation of the fascia, that's fasciitis. Fasciosis means the tissue death of the fascia. So fasciosis is actually what is going on. We understand the condition to be inflammation, and that's not actually what the issue is. It's actually the death of some tissue in the bottom of your foot because it's not getting nourished. And I'm going to tell you why. The foundational reason behind plantar fasciitis, fasciosis, is actually just your big toe being pushed in to the rest of your toes, and I will demonstrate this in a minute. I just want to explain it quickly. All your toes getting pushed together inside of your shoe is what the problem actually is. And it's the big toe that we care about here. I mean, we care about all the toes, but the big toe is the one that is going to end up taking the fall, taking the blame really for this whole condition being present, because what happens is your big toe is responsible for being held outward, and being able to utilize it allows your arches to hold themselves up because they're being used properly and they're strong enough to do so. If you don't have access to your big toe, even toes, then your arches are going to collapse because they're going to be weak. They're not being utilized. You're not even able to utilize them like you should because you don't really have access to your big toe when they're all crammed together and they're not functioning properly in that shoe. They should be a lot more like fingers than we think they should be. Most of our toes are all pushed together like this because of the shoes we've been wearing. Your toes should actually resemble a lot more of a hand than you would think. But, so what goes on there is you have no access to that big toe. Your arches become weak, therefore collapse. You end up overpronating. Pronation, by the way, is a natural process when the foot, dips in upon contact to kind of absorb some shock, but you start overdoing it. And this creates more problems too. The ankles may collapse in, and you've just got problems upstream. And so what happens with this whole process is your big toe is getting pushed in. And at this point, I will show you what I'm talking about. Push the camera down a little bit. But what's going on here is, maybe even this way is better. Your big toe is getting pushed in. And what is happening with that is that it is actually setting off a reaction in the bottom of your foot that is making a muscle called the abductor hallucis, which is over here. When you push this in, like a shoe does, and actually lift it up too, this doesn't help either, like the toe spring in our shoes, what ends up happening is, if you demonstrate this on yourself, I know you probably can't see it, me doing it, but you can actually see just a little bit of flexion in this area. You see there's a little muscle that's twitching when you do that, when you move this toe around. So what is actually happening is the muscle called the abductor hallucis is actually constricted. It's tightening when your toe is pushed in, when your toe is pushed up. Both are happening because of the footwear. When that is constricted, what the real problem is that the main artery that brings blood into the bottom of the foot, it feeds the whole plantar surface of your foot. It constricts that artery. So blood flow is significantly lessened. Why do we need blood flow? Blood flow is what nourishes our tendons, our muscles, whatnot, and it even helps us recover. It brings the good in, it takes the bad out. We need as close to perfect blood flow as we can get, especially in such a tight area running through the ankle like this. So the problem is, this abductor hallucis is tightened because of our shoes pushing the toe in, and it's just putting that muscle into a position where it's constricted. and it ends up setting off that reaction of cutting off blood flow. Well, now you don't get proper blood flow to the bottom of your foot. So now you're feeling pain somewhere from, your heel, inside of the heel, down the arch, maybe even about into the ball of the foot. And you're thinking that it's inflamed, but the thing is, it's actually just a lack of blood flow. That's all this is. That is the foundation of plantar fasciitis, fasciosis. That is the foundation of the whole problem. Now, you may have other things that are going on as well, and I wouldn't know about that exactly, but that is the foundation of what the problem is. If you are suffering from plantar fasciitis, heel pain, even arch cramping, this is another thing. Like I will get arch cramps sometimes, and I realize like I'm not getting good blood flow. Like I need to work on that. So this is the foundation of that problem. It's really not more complicated than that. This is the very first thing you should address if you are looking to lessen your pain, improve your condition. It is about improving your blood flow. And in the rest of this course, we're going to talk about how you're going to be able to do that. But just keep this in mind, because this is the first thing to tackle. After this, we'll figure out what the other problems are. But for now, you need to just worry about getting blood flow back into that area. That is the primary problem. So, until next time.